I stood in the doorway holding Sarah's diagnosis of cancer, her last chance for expensive treatment. My children, Michael and Anna, were sitting at the table, flipping through their phones indifferently. "Help!" I pleaded. "It's your mother," Michael snapped. "It's your problem, Dad." Anna nodded without looking up. A month later, Sarah passed away. They didn't even come to the funeral. That night, I swore that their betrayal would cost them everything. I was not looking for blood, only justice, and I knew how to get it. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. I stood in Michael's doorway. The medical report crumpled in my fist. Sarah's diagnosis, cancer stage 4, burned in my mind. The Chicago skyline glittered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of his pristine living room, all glass and chrome, like a showroom for a life I'd never understand. My son sat sprawled on a leather couch, scrolling his phone. Anna, my daughter, perched beside him, adjusting a gold bracelet that caught the light. I just told them about the treatment, the cost, the slim chance to save their mother. My voice cracked as I begged, "Help us, please. It's your mother." Michael snorted, not looking up. "Your mess, Dad, not mine." Anna's eyes flicked to me, then back to her phone. She nodded, a silent agreement. I stepped forward, the paper trembling in my hand. "You're her children. She'd do anything for you." My words felt heavy, useless, like stones sinking in a lake. The room smelled of Anna's floral perfume, sharp and expensive. I dropped the report on the glass table. It landed with a soft thud, a plea in ink and paper. Michael pushed it away with one finger like it was trash. "You think I'm dipping into my savings for this? Get real." His voice was smooth, practiced, the tone of a man who closed deals and broke promises with the same ease. I turned to Anna, my chest tight. "You haven't said a word. Say something." She stood, gliding to the window, her heels clicking on the hardwood. "We can't afford it, Dad. You know that." Her voice was soft, but it cut deeper than Michael's sneer. She didn't even look at me. I'd paid for their colleges, their cars, their vacations. I'd worked overtime, skipped vacations, built their futures while Sarah cheered them on. And now they sat here in this sterile palace, acting like we were strangers. My hand shook. "I gave you everything," I said, my voice rising, "and you can't even help." Michael stood towering over me, his suit impeccable. "You made your choices. Don't guilt us into fixing them." The words hit like a slap. I stared at them, my children, flesh of my flesh, and saw strangers. Cold, calculating eyes that held no warmth, no memory of the years I'd poured into them. I turned, my footsteps heavy on the polished floor, and left without another word. The elevator dinged, its doors closing like a final curtain. Outside, the city buzzed, indifferent to my breaking heart. I hailed a cab, the report still clutched in my hand, and headed home to Sarah. She didn't need to know this part, not yet. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and wilted flowers. Sarah lay in the bed, her once vibrant eyes dulled by pain. The monitors beeped steadily, a reminder that time was slipping away. I sat beside her, holding her hand, its warmth fading. The doctor's words echoed, experimental treatment, $200,000 a chance. But Michael and Anna's refusal burned hotter than the diagnosis. I squeezed her hand. "We'll find a way, love." She smiled weakly, her fingers tracing mine. "I know you will, John. Always the fixer." Her voice was a whisper, but it held the strength I'd fallen for 40 years ago. I nodded, forcing a smile, but inside rage simmered. They'd abandoned her, us, for their shiny lives. I stepped into the hallway, pulling out my phone. The screen blurred through unshed tears. I dialed my lawyer friend Bill. His voice was steady, a lifeline. "John, what's wrong?" I told him everything. The diagnosis, the kid's betrayal. He listened, then sighed. "That's rough. What do you need?" "Advice," I said, "on everything. Wills, assets, justice." There was a pause. "Come by tomorrow. We'll talk." I hung up, leaning against the wall, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Sarah had given them everything, her time, her love, her dreams, and they'd thrown it back like it meant nothing. I returned to her room, pasting on a calm face. She didn't need my anger, but as I watched her sleep, I made a silent vow. They'd pay, not with money, but with the truth of what they'd become. The night deepened, the city lights flickering through the window like distant stars. I held her hand tighter, memorizing its feel. Time was short, but my resolve was iron. Bill's office smelled of leather and old books, a sanctuary from the chaos outside. He leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers as I poured out the story. Sarah's cancer, the kid's refusal, my boiling rage. He nodded, his face grave. "You've got options, John, but they're nuclear. I want them to feel it," I said, my voice steady, "like we did." He pulled out a notepad, jotting notes. "First, the will. You can cut them out entirely, redirect everything to charity or a trust for Sarah's memory." I leaned forward. "And the house? The investments? All in my name?" He smiled thinly. "Yours to control. But if you want real impact, freeze the joint accounts. The ones from their college days, they still dip in?" "Occasionally," I said. "Good. Lock them. Show them dependency cuts both ways." My mind raced. The house was our family home. Paid off years ago. They'd assumed it'd be theirs one day. Not anymore. Bill tapped his pen. "You could sue for emotional distress, but that's messy. Better to hit where it hurts, their wallets, their security." I stood, shaking his hand. "Thanks, Bill. This is just the start." Outside, the wind whipped through the streets, carrying the chill of coming winter. I hailed a cab, my phone buzzing. Michael. I ignored it. Let him wait. The plan was forming, sharp and cold. They'd learn betrayal had a price. The house felt empty without Sarah's laughter. I sat at the kitchen table, papers spread before me, the will, account statements, a list of assets. My pen hovered over the signature line. Cutting them out felt final, a severing of blood ties. But their words echoed, "Your problem." I signed, the ink dark and decisive. Next, the bank. A quick call, codes exchanged, and the joint accounts froze. Michael's emergency fund, Anna's rainy day stash, gone. I leaned back, the chair creaking, the house, whispered memories, Sarah in the garden, kids playing in the yard. Those days were gone, poisoned by their indifference. My phone rang. "Anna. Dad, what's going on with the account?" I kept my voice calm. "It's frozen." "Why?" she demanded. "Because you made it clear. Your money's yours. Mine's mine." She sputtered, but I hung up. The first strike landed. Bill called later. "Everything's set. The new will names a cancer charity as beneficiary. The house goes into a trust. You control it." "Good," I said. "They'll fight. Let them. You've got the high ground." I nodded, though he couldn't see. High ground felt cold, but necessary. Sarah's photo watched from the mantel, her smile a reminder. This was for her. Michael's condo gleamed under recessed lights, the air thick with tension. He paced, his phone in hand, face red. Anna sat on the couch, her fingers twisting a napkin. I'd arrived unannounced, the frozen accounts my opener. "Dad, this is insane," Michael snapped. "You can't just lock us out." "I can," I said, calm. "It's my name on them." Anna stood, her eyes pleading. "We need that money." "For what?" I asked. "Your lifestyles. Your mother's dying, and you wouldn't help." Michael threw up his hands. "It's not our fault. You should have planned better." The words stung, but I held steady. Planned for betrayal? For kids who turn their backs? Anna touched his arm. "Dad, please, unlock it. We'll talk about Mom." "Too late," I said. "She's gone." The room fell silent. Michael's face paled. "What?" "Last night. Alone. Because her children couldn't be bothered." Anna's hand flew to her mouth, tears welling. Michael sank into a chair, stunned. "You didn't call." "Why would I?" I asked. "It's my problem, remember?" They stared, the weight of their words crashing down. I turned to leave. "The funeral's tomorrow. Come if you want. But know this, everything changes now." The cemetery was quiet, the sky heavy with unshed rain. Sarah's casket gleamed in the dim light, flowers wilting at its base. I stood alone, my suit stiff, heart heavier. The priest's words washed over me, a blur of comfort I couldn't feel. Michael and Anna didn't show. Their absence was a final cut, deeper than the grave. Friends murmured condolences, their pity salt in the wound. Bill clapped my shoulder. "You okay?" "No," I said, "but I will be." As the casket lowered, I whispered goodbye. Sarah, my love, my anchor, gone because we couldn't afford the treatment, because our kids chose selfishness. Dirt hit the wood, each thud a promise. They'd pay, not with tears, but with everything they'd taken for granted. The crowd dispersed, leaving me with the fresh earth. I knelt, placing a rose. Justice starts now. The lawyer's office was stark, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Bill slid the papers across the desk. "This is it, John, the lawsuit." "For what?" I asked. "Emotional distress, breach of familial duty. It's a long shot, but with their refusal documented, we can make it stick." I scanned the document, my name plaintiff, Michael and Anna defendants. "Hit them hard." He nodded. "We'll demand compensation, the treatment cost plus pain and suffering. Their assets are tied to yours in ways they don't know. The house? Co-owned on paper, but the trust locks it." I signed, the pen heavy. "This isn't about money. It's about making them see." Bill leaned back. "They'll see. Court will force it." Outside, rain slicked the streets. My phone buzzed. Michael again. I answered. "Dad, we need to talk." "Too late," I said. "See you in court." The courtroom smelled of polished wood and tension. Michael and Anna sat across the aisle, their lawyer whispering furiously. The judge, a stern woman with gray hair, banged her gavel. Case of John against Michael and Anna, breach of duty, emotional distress. My lawyer stood, laying out the facts. Sarah's diagnosis, my plea, their refusal, Exhibits A through C, the texts, the report, the frozen accounts. Their lawyer countered, "No legal obligation. Familial, yes, but not enforceable." The judge's eyes narrowed. "Let's hear from the plaintiff." I took the stand, my voice steady. They watched their mother die because they wouldn't help. I gave them everything. They gave nothing. Michael shifted, uncomfortable. Anna avoided my gaze. Cross-examination was brutal. Their lawyer pressed. You cut them off first? After they refused? Yes. To punish them? To protect what's mine. The judge nodded, thoughtful. Recess. In the hallway, Michael approached. Dad, this is crazy. Drop it. Why? I asked. Afraid to lose? He flinched. We didn't know it was that bad. You did, I said. You chose not to care. The verdict came swift, in my favor. $200,000 in damages plus court costs. Their faces crumpled as the gavel fell. Justice, cold and final. Michael's office was a glass tower, his desk cluttered with papers. He looked haggard, dark circles under his eyes. Dad, please, the judgment. It's ruining me. I sat across from him, unmoved. That's the point. Anna joined via video, her face pale. We get it now. We're sorry. Too late, I said. Pay up? Michael leaned forward. I can't. My business is tanking. Then sell, I said. The condo, the car. Feel what it's like to lose. Anna's voice cracked. Mom wouldn't want this. Don't speak for her, I snapped. You abandoned her. They begged, but I stood firm. The court would enforce it, their world crumbling just as mine had. Anna's apartment smelled of coffee and regret. She opened the door, her eyes red. Dad, come in. Michael was there, slumped on the couch. We've been thinking, she said, about Mom, about everything. I crossed my arms. Thinking doesn't pay bills. Michael stood. We'll pay what we can, but drop the rest. Please. Why should I asked. You didn't help when it mattered. Anna touched my arm. We were wrong. Selfish. Let us make it right. I shook her off. Making it right? She's gone. The room fell silent. Michael pulled out a check. This is all we have now. Take it. I pocketed it without looking. It's a start. But the judgment stands. The house felt like a museum of memories. I packed Sarah's things, each item a stab. Her scarf, her books, her laugh echoing in my mind. The lawsuit money arrived in drips, their payments a grudging admission. But victory tasted bitter. Bill called, You won, John. Feel better? Not yet, I said. But I will. I donated half to cancer research, Sarah's name on the plaque. The rest secured my future. Michael and Anna faded from my life, their calls unanswered. Peace settled, slow but sure. Months passed. The house sold, proceeds to charity. I moved to a small apartment. The city hum a distant comfort. One evening, a knock. Michael and Anna looking broken. Dad, we lost everything. The condo, the jobs. Good, I said. Now you know. Anna cried. We're sorry. Truly. Michael nodded. We want to make amends. I stepped aside. Come in. Talk. We sat, the air thick. They poured out regrets, tears flowing. Mom deserved better, Anna said. We failed her. You did. I agreed. But maybe there's a way forward. I didn't forgive easily, but I listened. For Sarah. The cafe buzzed with life. Michael and Anna across from me, tentative smiles. We've started therapy, Michael said. Learning to be better. Anna nodded. We miss you, Dad. I sipped my coffee. Miss isn't enough, but it's a start. We talked, bridges mending slow. Not for them, but for the family Sarah loved. The new house was modest, but mine. I unpacked, Sarah's photo first. Michael helped carry boxes. Anna arranged shelves. Thanks, I said. They smiled. Family helps family. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Sarah would approve. I stood at Sarah's grave, the sun warm. It's better now, love. They're changing. The wind whispered, carrying peace. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching. The hospital hallway was cold, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees. I paced, my shoes squeaking on the linoleum, waiting for the doctor's update. Sarah's room was just down the hall, her frail form hooked to machines that beeped her fading rhythm. The diagnosis had come like a thunderclap. Cancer, advanced, options limited. The experimental treatment was our last hope, but the cost was staggering. $200,000. We had savings, but not enough. That's why I'd gone to the kids. Michael and Anna's faces flashed in my mind, their indifference, their words like knives. Your problem, Dad? I clenched my fists, nails digging into palms. How could they? Sarah had sacrificed everything for them. Piano lessons, soccer camps, college funds scraped from our dreams. And now, when she needed them, nothing. The doctor emerged, his face grave. Mr. Thompson, she's stable, but time's short. The treatment, I cut him off. We're doing it, somehow. Back in her room, I held her hand. Her skin was paper thin, but her grip was strong. John, don't worry, we'll fight this. I nodded, throat tight. I love you, always. Home was a ghost town without her energy. I sat at the desk, papers scattered, bills, bank statements, the will. Bill had advised changes, cut them out. It felt right. I signed, sealing their fate. The phone rang. Michael. Dad, the account's frozen. What's going on? It's closed, I said. Why? Because you made your choice. He yelled, but I hung up. First step, Anna's turn. Her voicemail. Dad, call me. The money's gone. I ignored it. Let them stew. Bill's voice was calm. The lawsuit's filed. They'll be served tomorrow. Good. Make it hurt. The papers arrived at Michael's office. A public spectacle, he called, furious. A lawsuit? Are you insane? No, I said, just fair. Court loomed, their world unraveling. The stand was lonely, eyes on me. I told the truth. Their refusal, Sarah's death, my grief. The judge listened, her face impassive. Verdict, guilty. Pay up. Their appeals failed. Assets seized. Lives upended. They came begging. I listened, but held firm. Justice served, then change. Therapy, apologies, efforts to rebuild. Family dinner, tentative, laughter faint but real. Sarah's grave, flowers fresh. We're healing love. The story flowed, justice, bittersweet. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.